Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. It's Monday morning. I'm doing this video on Trevor Bryan versus Daniel Dubois just before I go to work. There need to be 5 days in a weekend and 2 in a working week. That's the only way some of us will survive. I'm reminded of that old joke. You know, the one about the mum who knocks on her son's door and says, "Come on, get up. You got to go to school. Get up, get up." And her son says, "I don't want to go to school. They all bully me. You know, they're horrible to me. I can't. I don't like it. I don't want to go to school. Why do I have to go to school?" And his mum says, "You got to go to school because you're the headmaster." I feel like that, you know, right now. Anyway. Let's talk about, if we have to, let's talk about Trevor Bryan versus Daniel Dubois. I wasn't even going to do a video on this because it turned out it was so predictable. I think I picked Dubois to knock out Bryan in 3 rounds, and he did it in 4, which was annoying because I could have had some money if he'd done it a round earlier. That was one of my bets that went out the window. But anyway, yeah, not really a lot to sort of talk about. People have mentioned the production, which was absolutely woeful. How the mighty have fallen. That's what springs into my mind, because if you're an older boxing fan, you'll remember Don King in his heyday when he used to have 5 or 6 world title fights on one card, and those of us in Britain would stay up till 3 in the morning usually to watch them. You know, watch them on ITV, 3 o'clock. Brilliant stuff. Free, of course, pay-per-view in Britain. But they had to squeeze the rag dry, didn't they, and get more money out of us. So anyway, that's a subject for a different video. King's production for this was just bizarre. It seemed to take place in some leisure centre. I heard that people have said, well, there were about 500 people there. Trevor Bryan was a paper champion. If ever the phrase paper champion applied, it applied to Trevor Bryan. He's no longer a paper champion. The new paper champion is Daniel Dubois. But we have to give Dubois a lot of credit because, let's be honest here, he went over to America. He's inexperienced. He's done it the right way for the most part. He did the British, Commonwealth, European route, which I always think is the best route. But they threw him in with Joe Joyce. And I've got to be honest, I picked Dubois to stop Joyce on his feet. I thought Joyce gets hit too much and Dubois hits too hard. He'll probably get, I don't think he'll go down, but he'll probably get stopped on his feet, not a bit of it. Joyce really showed a brilliant jab. And Dubois' jab isn't bad in itself, but Joyce busted up Dubois, and then we know that Dubois took a knee and quit. I'm not as harsh on him as a lot of people because I think that sometimes it is best to live to fight another day. I always remember Vitaly Klitschko retiring against Chris Bird on his stool because he had a busted shoulder, and the way he put it was, if you've got a flat tyre, you don't keep driving. Otherwise, you ruin the tyre. You stop and you get it fixed, and then you know. But Dubois has got that stigma attached to him now that he's got that loss on his record. And Bryan was mouthing it off in the fight before the fight, saying, "I'm going to do this. I'm going to make you quit. Blah blah blah. You're going to start crying." All this shite. Not a bit of it. To give Dubois credit for going all the way over there. Shane McGuigan in his corner, which is never a bad thing. McGuigan's done a lot of good work with Lawrence Okoli recently. Turned him into a little bit more of a slippery, maybe not slippery, but more of a fluid fighter. He looks more relaxed in there, although his last performance was terrible, Okoli. But, you know, give him time. I think Dubois will improve under McGuigan, but I've always said you need at least a year with a new trainer. If it's the right trainer, you need a year to gel and to find out how each other works and all that sort of thing. But anyway, in this fight, Bryan's tactics, if there were any, seemed as woeful as the production, as this weird 500 people leisure centre production for a heavyweight world title fight. Yeah, right. Yeah, it's weird because you know, Bob Arum's 90, Don King's 90, King has just fallen by the wayside. Arum is still going strong, but at the same time, he probably defers everything to his team. I don't know whether King's got a team. The evidence of this, I'd say not. But anyway, the fight itself, Bryan out of shape as usual, very soft. Dubois said, "Oh, he's got a nice soft face," meaning he, you know, a soft pillow face to put your fist through, I suppose. But his body ain't a lot better. Bryan came out and he looked for the entire fight. He looked like. It reminded, as other people have said this actually, this isn't just something I've observed, but I agree with the people who said it. He looked like Kevin Johnson or a journeyman who was trying to sort of old man his way through the fight. First round, he barely threw a punch. I think it wasn't until the second round where he decided to throw he threw an overhand right. But he was basically fiddling his way through the rounds. And he said afterwards, I was going to take Dubois into deep waters. Well, as I always say with that tactic, okay, the first round or two when someone's fresh, you can mess them around, try and diffuse the bomb, so to speak. But then from the third, fourth, fifth round onwards, you've got to step up the pace. I don't mean, if you want to draw someone's sting, you've got to make them fight at a pace they don't like. Otherwise, they can box all night. So let's say you do 6 rounds, the first 6 rounds of a 12-round fight, and you're just letting the opponent box at his own pace, and you're giving the rounds away. You're not making them use up energy. You're not making them exert themselves and fight in a place where they don't really want to fight, even though they're on the front foot. They're forced to fight out of character. If you can do that, yes, you can then come on strong and take them into the so-called deep waters later on. But if you don't do that, they'll box 20 rounds. And Bryan wasn't doing anything with Dubois. He was just letting him box at his own pace. So to me, it didn't look like he had any real game plan, Bryan. And Dubois got a pretty good jab. We know that he hits very hard. He's a little bit robotic. People have compared him to Frank Bruno, which is not entirely inaccurate. I suppose I see the similarity there. Yeah, Bruno had a very, very good jab, by the way. Very good jab. And Dubois would do well to sort of work on that jab, make it even better. It's quite good at the moment, but I think for someone of Dubois' style, the jab is absolutely imperative. And he was doing okay. He was handling Bryan, and then the boom was lowered in the fourth round. It was a left hook that Bryan stepped into, which increased the power. He fell flat on his face. Weren't going to get up, not within 10 seconds. He's out of shape anyway. So, that increased to the fact that he had no energy, couldn't get up, got counted out. So Dubois is the WBA regular champion, whatever the hell that is. All this alphabet soup nonsense. I don't drink it. I hope you don't either. The real champ, real WBA champ is obviously Alexander Usyk. And there are other domestic heavyweights around which Dubois could fight. This is not, by the way, a criticism of Dubois. Like I say, he went over to America. He did everything he was supposed to do. He's got himself a belt, which is a nice little bargaining chip. And good luck to the guy. But he ain't a heavyweight champion of the world, as we know. Neither was Trevor Bryan. What's the future for Bryan? I don't know. Does he even want a future? Get yourself in shape would be a good starting point. Dubois, maybe some domestic dust-ups. Dylan White. I think Dylan White is looking pretty much shot at the moment. To be chinned twice in three fights by uppercuts, by single punches essentially, is not a good look. It doesn't bode well. I think his punch resistance is gone, Dylan White. I think Dubois would probably smash through him. Rematch with Joe Joyce, not yet. I'd work with Shane McGuigan for another year or so before you even think about that. Maybe let Joyce pick up a title, and you never know. Joyce might make a splash, and then you can have your rematch. But Dubois is on the right path. Dubois against some of the up and comers, I think he beat most of them. He's already beaten Nathan Gorman, he disappeared. Any Nathan Gorman is he with Wasserman, or is it Boxer now? I forget. But his career was completely stalled. Who else we got? David Adelaide, I don't rate very highly. I think Dubois would beat him. He's got a lot of work to do before he's anywhere near world title level or world class level. Adelaide. Who else have we got? We got some heavyweights. We got some heavies, and yeah, Dubois is good. Dubois is all right. I like him. Anyway, those are my thoughts on that bizarre production. Well done to Dubois. Trevor Bryan, you didn't do yourself any favours, mate. If you wanted to hold on to that silly belt, you should have at least done some work. And didn't he have Larry Holmes helping him? What must Larry have thought? I'm going to go on YouTube, see if there's an interview with Larry, because I want to hear his comments on the Dubois performance or non-performance. Let me know what you think. Give us a shout. comments below. Please, if you're new to the channel, subscribe. Want to get them numbers up. It's kind of stalled at like 570 or something, 560, 570 on the subscribers. So hit the subscribe button. It only takes a second to pop the subscribe button. Like the video. That helps the channel as well if you hit the like button. Thank you for your time. Have a nice week and speak soon. Bye for now.